So my mother said I could sing before I could talk. She said that I was humming music before I was uttering words. So I recall a story she tells that she was sitting around a tape deck with some of her friends, and they were listening to a popular song of the day, and they kept playing the song over and over and over again. You know, when a popular song, the kids want to listen to it over and over. And she said that I kind of came up to the radio and started singing and humming the music, and she couldn't believe it. So her and her friends recorded me singing so that they could play it for my grandmother when she got home from work to say, hey, listen to this baby, she's singing, you know. So it's all of my life is singing. While I was in high school, I was in the chorus there in my high school, and my teacher at the time, my chorus teacher, Mr. Michael Graham, I'll never forget. He's the one that was responsible for giving me some voice lessons. I had never had any up to that point, and he thought my voice was that great that they needed to kind of train me a bit. So he contacted a local music school that I only had to pay 50 cents to attend, and I would go weekly to get my voice lessons. I took a little piano. And once I was done with high school, Mr. Graham said, well, you know, we got to make sure we follow you and make sure you're okay. And so he was the one responsible for taking me across the bridge to see Fisk University. While in college, I played a role in a play, Smokey Joe's Cafe. I played BJ, and BJ sings Hound Dog in the production. And a part of our table work, as my professor would call it, was to kind of do research. And so at that time, she explained to me that Big Mama Thornton was the first to sing Hound Dog. So many years later, when I got this opportunity, I wasn't not familiar, you know, with who Big Mama Thornton was. So I am Big Mama Thornton in this film for Elvis. In the film I sing a bit of Hound Dog. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. Quit snooping round my door. I'm also a part of the Bill Street kind of scenes in the film. There are other characters that people will recognize, like Little Richard and Sister Rosetta Thorpe, B.B. King's in the film, and so some other staple blues singers that are in the film. But I basically am a part of the whole Bill Street thing that they show in the film, the whole Memphis thing. Yeah, they got it down. I mean, they replicated the whole thing. Bass and his team was very intentional about being detailed and making sure that everything was done right. And I thought I was it. I thought I was on Bill Street. Of course, I knew I wasn't because I was in Australia. But the way that everybody came together to recreate it, it was magical. It was magical. I find even as I'm looking at different people's reactions online, you know, that a whole new generation is talking about Elvis and talking about some of the characters in the film. You know, they've got people really talking, you know, and so I'm glad to bring that. I was telling someone that if Big Mama's name is mentioned more than myself, then that's fine, because she's due that. She's due those flowers. She's due that recognition, and so I'm very honored to honor her. You know, when I got on the plane, I was a little concerned. I said, I wonder if I'm going to be in a regular plane, but I didn't realize because I was traveling internationally that they were going to give me like a little cubicle. So I was able to fly about 15 hours, but I had a space where I could lay down and sleep or watch a movie. It was a big deal, man. I had it going on that plane for sure. My children, they gave the most sacrifice when I had to leave. I had to go to Australia to do the film and was there for almost a month and a half. And so they missed Mom. So I got an opportunity to show them exactly why Mom had to be away, and to just have my children sitting in that theater and watching me come on the screen, and for them to just scream in the theater. That's my mom. I was so proud. I got to interact with Austin, the star of the film, who plays Elvis. I got to get his thumbs up, so I knew I was all right. I got to meet Olivia Dijon and even spend a little private time with her. We all kind of went on a boat ride together and bonded as a cast. Shannon Sanders was there, big-time producer who plays one of the preachers in the film. Lanisha Randolph, amazing singer who sang a lot of the gospel pieces of the film, was there. So I mean, even Little Richard, Alton Mason is the character who plays Little Richard. Richard. So we were all there together and got to interact for sure. When we were rehearsing my portion of the film, Austin happened to be there on set, and I just remember he and the BB King character Kelvin was sitting at a table. So we set up in Club Handy, and I'm on the stage and I'm doing my bit, and there's Austin sitting there with BB King character and watching me. And he came up to me afterwards. He said, "Shonka, I just didn't know whether I wanted to pound the table or what as you were singing." It was just great interaction. He's such a pleasant person and just really showed lots of love and good energy while we were filming. I think that Bass does a great job in presenting the film in a way where he shows those influences, where he shows that inspiration. And I just, for myself, I tried to make sure that I was present and ready to present Big Mama in in most respectful way. And also, I was open to understand Elvis more as a person and what may have been going on behind the scene, understanding the culture at that time, the climate at that time when all of that music was being made. So that was my stance and my approach with everything. I think right now I'm more focused on music. I really would like to do a blues tribute record that I'm calling The Lady Sings the Blues, where I just pay tribute to the genre. Want to do some of Anna James songs, Coco Taylor, even some Big Mama Thornton, some BB King, some Bobby Blue Bland. I want to just make an eclectic homage, I guess, to the genre. The soundtrack for Elvis is the #1 soundtrack in the United States. The movie is #1, so people are embracing it in vast numbers, and I'm just grateful to be a part of it and to see what's going to happen next. So.